June is definitely a month of indulgence, and honestly, we flip and deserve it. But there are a few red flags waving in the background, so let's have fun while protecting our money and our hearts. Welcome to Astro ROI. I'm Catherine Cartini here to talk about how astrology can be used for personal and professional development. If your May was anything like my May, I didn't think I'd be able to put out June horoscopes, especially towards the end of the month when Mercury returned home to Gemini and everything accelerated, right? So thank you for spending your time and energy with me today. If you do find value in my content, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, comment with feedback, or share this video. All engagement helps me keep going. That said, I have not been able to post the talk I did for Google Developers Group for International Women's Day. It was about how the age of Aquarius will impact women in STEM. But since Pluto went retrograde in May, I will kick off your horoscopes with how the Transformer is impacting your life. Before I share forecasts for each zodiac sign, I'm going to quickly run through how the major transits, aspects, and lunations in June will impact the collective. There are timestamps below, and I posted a transcript on astrocoachkate.com. You can cut and paste these paragraphs into your calendars for reminders throughout the month. I also posted 1-minute highlights for each zodiac sign that include Jupiter entering Cancer, the Sagittarius full moon, and the Cancer new moon. You can find these here and on Instagram at AstroCoachKate. And since we're at the halfway point, there's a link in the description for 2025 yearly forecast. Looking back will allow you to see that astrology is real, and it will help you gain more awareness for the rest of the year. If you'd like to train with me, I have one-on-one and single sessions available on my website. I'll look at your personal data, and I'm going to help you create a game plan using the energy. Or if you'd like to look at your own chart or become an astrologer, I partner with Luna Astrology software, and you can get 10% off using the link in the description. Now, here's a little taste of what's happening in June. June is sweet. It's also a pressure test. All the feel-good vibes come with the strings. Navigating this energy requires both surrender and execution. We're really going to need to constantly cross-reference what we need to feel secure emotionally and financially. Here's a list of the major energy at play. Stick with me and I'll run through how each event impacts the 12 zodiac signs. Last month, Pluto, the planet of transformation, slowly started to move backwards. I didn't talk about it in May because there was so much fast moving energy and we needed to make critical decisions, right? But Pluto's influence was always in the background. Pluto dissolves the old to make room for the new in Aquarius. It specifically points towards science, technology, and humanitarianism. Innovation that impacts the masses. This is when it pays to know your personal chart. If you have any planets or nodes between 0 to 3 degrees, you're under a Pluto transit and initiating the change. The retrograde will extend to mid-October. This, of course, suggests revision. And while this may feel uncomfortable, in June, we'll have support from Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn. First, Uranus calls in the unexpected. In Taurus, it's meant to bring us more security. At a critical 29 degrees, it's now or never. While pressure is non-negotiable, our survival instincts are being activated. We'll uncover strength we never knew we had because we've never had to have it. Next, Neptune is about our hope. Saturn is what we need to take seriously. In Aries, we're being asked to fight for our dreams. A sextile to Pluto favors having a game plan. We cannot shoot from the hip. Otherwise, Saturn will create more obstacles, making us feel like our dreams are slipping away. So in June, remember that dreams must be built and breakthroughs require surrender and strategy. On June 6th, Venus returns to her home sign of Taurus. Until now and Independence Day, Venus will bring more stability and sensuality into our lives. She'll slow things down so we can reconnect with what feels good, to love unconditionally, to spend money on quality over quantity, like experiences that make memories or items that make life more efficient. If something or someone is not dependable, don't waste the energy. We need to rebuild whatever was shaken over the last few months. Think back to the full moon in Taurus at the end of April. Venus in Taurus wants solid relationships and steady finances. So this transit will help us commit to the long term over short term thrills. On June 8th, Mercury connects with Jupiter in Gemini at a critical 29 degrees. Both of these planets are getting ready to move into Cancer, so consider this day a going away present or a Hail Mary. Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and since Mercury rules Gemini, we'll need to think and respond quickly. This is a final push to say what needs to be said, make the pitch, launch the project, or sign the deal. The energy says speak now or forever hold your peace. Here are the caveats. We cannot skim the details because the energy is so fast, there's a risk of missing key details. So be bold, be smart, but be ready to back up your words with facts, especially since this window only is open for a day. We just had a new moon in Gemini at the end of May. So what did you want to set in motion? Act on at least one part of that plan today. On June 9th, Jupiter enters Cancer, where it will stay until July 2026. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces, but it's exalted in Cancer, so this is where it does its best work. Jupiter is about growth, optimism, and good luck. Cancer focuses on emotions, family, and security. So on the macro level, we can expect good things at home and deeper emotional connections, which makes the next year a great time to heal by nurturing ourselves and caring for others. But Jupiter also inflates. Sometimes less is more. Bigger doesn't always mean better. So watch for overgiving, emotional spending, or eating your feelings. Being too sentimental can cloud our judgment. So communicate and set boundaries to protect your resources, time, money, and energy. On June 11th, we'll have the full moon in Sagittarius. Full moons are turning points, completions, or endings. The ruler of this moon is Jupiter, which again expands, and Sagittarius is about wisdom. So this lunation could drop a truth bomb, whether we're ready or not. Something we've been learning, teaching, or trying to gain clarity on will come full circle. Use the energy to zoom out, trust your gut, and ask, is this right for me? With the sun in Gemini, the tension lies between having the facts and having faith. We don't need all the answers, but we do need to have the courage to take the next step. One of my mentors said, if your vision isn't big enough to scare you a little, it's not big enough. On June 15th, Mars in Leo clashes with Uranus in Taurus at a critical 29 degrees. This is one of the red flags days I was telling you about. The energy is explosive, bold moves versus sudden resistance. Mars in Leo wants to take charge. Uranus in Taurus won't budge unless our actions align with our long-term needs. At 29, it's a breaking point. Uranus will win, but Mars won't go down without a fight. Expect shakeups in finances, relationships, or plans you thought were solid. You can't control the outcome, but you can choose your response. Act with courage, not ego, and be ready to pivot fast. Then on June 15th, Jupiter squares Saturn both at 1 degree, which is the starting line. This represents a tug of war between growth and resistance. Jupiter in Cancer wants expansion, more love, more comfort, more protection. But Saturn in Aries says not so fast. He demands discipline and accountability. This square forces us to add structure to our dreams. If we've been overextending financially or emotionally, this is a wake-up call. Long-term success requires strategy. We don't need to shrink our vision. We just need a game plan. Now, on June 18th, Jupiter squares Neptune. I really don't like the middle of June. I told you, sweet and salty. On one side of the glass, we're hopeful. We've got our seatbelts on. The GPS is running. We're playing good music. But the fog on the other side is like, you shouldn't be driving right now. You can't see what's in front of you. Jupiter in Cancer wants us to be extra cautious, but Neptune dreams big. And in Aries, those dreams can turn impulsive. We'll want to chase a fantasy. So don't overpromise, overspend, or emotionally overinvest. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Stay hopeful for sure, but just wait for better conditions before you drive off into the sunset. Because we'll close out the month with positive news. First, on June 24th, Jupiter will connect with the sun in Cancer, forming a Cazimi. The sun is us, what we're known for. Jupiter obviously is good luck. Cancer represents mom energy, family, nourishment, and emotional security. When we put it all together, it makes us feel like we belong, like we're home. We can heal something. Which brings us to the last major event of the month, the new moon in Cancer on June 25th. As we set our intentions, we need to ask, what do our hearts really need to feel safe? Cancer is about our innermost needs: food, shelter, and love. With Jupiter and Saturn both squaring off this month, building security won't be effortless, but it will be worth it. And this new moon will give us the motherly energy we can rely on over the next 6 months. Now to your horoscopes. I'm a Western astrologer using the whole house system based on rising signs. Listen to that first, then your sun and moon for extra value. I'm using Luna astrology software. Again, if you'd like 10% off Luna, there's a link in the description. And if you'd like to see how the astrology pairs with your forecast, go to astrocoachkate.com to read your horoscopes. If you found value in your forecast, please pay it forward by subscribing to the channel, posting a comment, and clicking on the notification bell. Transcripts are posted on astrocoachkate.com, where you can find all the ways to train with me and book a free discovery call.